Recognizing the House Leader of the third party.
Yeah, thank you. And I have just a few comments to make with respect to, is it Bill 25? Bill 25, Electoral Boundaries Act. It was just the number. It was just the number. This is indeed a process that happens regularly, and it's a bit of boundary adjustments around the province to ensure that there is equity. It's undertaken by, of course, an independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. And as we hear in the debates from the various members, is that the MLAs, the incumbents in here, because we do such hard work on behalf of our communities, advocating for them, we form a relationship with the communities that are within the riding boundaries that we got elected into. And that relationship and those bonds become very strong. And it's often because the issues that we address and take care of alongside in our advocacy of our constituents, whether it be individuals, businesses, or the local government bodies that are within our riding boundaries, the work that we do is very close, and we form very strong bonds. And so as this report, the date is coming to see the final report, and it's now passed, and we've all had a chance to take a look at it, and now we're debating the legislation that is going to make those new riding boundaries, adopt them into law, recognizing that we've got 6 new electoral districts that are going to be proposed, including 4 in the Lower Mainland. Vancouver, Burnaby, Surrey, and Langley all get a new riding. 1 here on Vancouver Island in Langford, and another one in Kelowna, 6 new ridings. And I'm assuming that sometime in the near future, in the very near future, we're going to be having a discussion about how we can fit 6 more desks into this legislative chamber. And as the member from Abbotsford West was noting, that there was one vocal advocate for benches in the government caucus, and I would say that I'm also an advocate for the use of benches. I think that I think it would be a good adoption and a good use, a better use of space in the House. And either that, or we're going to have to make these desks smaller. And so anyway. That debate's going to be coming probably at LAMC committee near you in the coming weeks as we get this bill through the legislative process that's in front of us today. Again, it's important that that the population of each electoral district, and part of the reason why, of course, the Electoral Boundaries Commission does this work is because there's growth in the communities. Some communities are growing very quickly in the province, and some are not. And so we need to make sure that as close as possible, the ridings across the province are generally similar. And so following the passing of this bill, when we get to that eventual stage, there will be 93 ridings. The population will be somewhere between 40,000 and 67,000. In this Boundaries Commission, 72 districts have had their boundaries adjusted, and 41 districts have had their names changed. I think this goes to the comment that my colleague from Cowichan Valley was raising with respect, I should say, to a riding in, I believe it's Coquitlam. There is a scenario here where riding names have changed, and so I certainly encourage the government to take a close look at that riding name and consider it to be maybe 42 districts that have their names changed. 1,800 submissions were a part of this consultation process. That's a robust consultation process. Unfortunately, it was not nearly as accessible as it should be, and hopefully 2 election cycles from now, the Electoral Boundaries Commission can make their work more available to the public. And I'll just I think, wrap up my comments by saying during that process, the initial proposal was a proposal to remove Brentwood Bay from the Saanich North and the Islands riding. And there was some, I think quite a number of comments from the public with respect to that. Suggestion made in the preliminary report, and indeed Brentwood Bay stays in Saanich North and the Islands, but unfortunately the Keating neighbourhood is being moved to Saanich South, and so Saanich South will have a wonderful new community added to it, and I recognize that there was some need for the change to be made, and so I just wanted to take this moment to reflect on the time that I have had the opportunity to represent Keating in the legislature as someone who is a former municipal councillor in the district of Central Saanich. I've been, to one extent or another, representing and making decisions that have impacted that neighbourhood since 2008. That's a number of years now, many number of years now. And I can still remember the streetlight conversation that was happening on Robin Way back when I was on municipal council. So it's been quite a while. And so be sad to see Keating move to the south, to Saanich South, and very thankful to be the member representing Saanich North and the Islands in this Parliament. Finally, I'll just say this. I think that as we are, and as the Electoral Boundaries Commission is doing their work in the future, and reflecting on the correct or the proper names that might that might best represent the territories that are represented within those the electoral boundaries. Other than maybe Cowichan, there are very, very few electoral districts that have Indigenous place names as part of their their name. And I really hope that as we go forward, that the Electoral Boundaries Commission and indeed this legislature considers the use of the original names that were used by the Indigenous peoples in each of the territories across the province to reflect the names of the ridings that are represented by the seats in this chamber. When I take a look at my riding, for example, while there is more diversity than just a single nation reflected in Saanich North and the Islands, vast parts of it are Husetnich. And I think that there would be, it would be a wonderful day when we were able to come to riding names that also reflected the traditional and historical names that have been used on these landscapes in this province since time immemorial. So with that, I'll take my seat and thank the Speaker for the opportunity to speak to this bill. Nice to see you.